Hi guys, welcome back to the Physio Exchange with myself and Wade. Today we have a question, but it's from a patient that visited our website. And she's going in for surgery for an ACL and meniscus repair. And she wants to know what is expected in the first 6 weeks. Specifically, when does she start walking? When does she get back to sport? When does she start getting back to work and driving? So she just wants some guidance before she goes before she goes into surgery of what to expect.
Okay, we see this a lot. About like 60-70% of our patient load are post-operative knees. So it's something that we really enjoy treating and helping our patients along this journey. So I usually tell my guys, especially with meniscus repair, it's a very dark phase for an individual, because all of a sudden, if you are a very active person, very sporty person, you are all of a sudden dependent on everyone else around you. You can't put weight down on that leg for about 6 weeks. You don't have the full range of movement. You're dealing with discomfort and pain. You need help to carry. I usually say you have to make your coffee and drink it where you made it. You know, you can't carry that cup all over.
Because you're on crutches.
Because you're on crutches. So a lot of the times it's not always explained before surgery by surgeons, and that you're going to not be able to do these things, and they don't always give you proper timelines. So a lot of the time it falls on the physiotherapist to give this information. And a lot of times, so a good thing on you, Erica, that you're finding out before surgery what to expect, because a lot of times after surgery, when you give them this information, it's the biggest shock to them in the world that rehab actually takes anywhere from 9 to 12 months. A lot of my elites and pros will take extra time, 15 months, before they actually return to competitive play. I don't know what you kind of guide them into when you first see them, or when they ask you these questions as well.
So we have to remember that these are guidelines. Everyone's rehab and progression and recovery is specific to them. So yes, in this specific case, ACL meniscus repair, you're going to be non-weight bearing, crutches and ROM brace, right? And like you said, usually non-weight bearing for 6 weeks. Very important to regain your range regain range up until 90 degrees within that 6 weeks. Also, it depends on your surgeon. Every surgeon has different protocols, and you follow that protocol, and the physio will guide you according to that. Also, it depends on not your ACL tear, but your meniscus tear, the positioning, where it is, type of tear, as to how quickly they allow you to put weight on 100%. That leg.
And also if they're going to be performing a repair, or if they just, doing a meniscectomy and getting out, that also plays a big role in that as well.
So I mean, if they're doing a repair, it's usually non-weight bearing, then you slowly start after 6 weeks, they open up your brace, and you slowly start weight bearing.
And protocol to that as well. So they will tell you either every 2 weeks open 10 degrees, or every week.
Right.
And because it's a surgical procedure, the surgeon takes preference on, he decides how we open up this brace, how we weight bear, when we start weight bearing. So for me, I always respect the surgeon's decision on weight bearing and opening up of the brace as well.
Yeah. But even they might say non-weight bearing 6 weeks. It doesn't mean that after 6 weeks you're going to be walking.
Yeah, dropping the crutches.
Dropping the brace and walking. No, you have to slowly add weight on the leg. And usually the way I address it is that one crutch goes, second crutch goes, you still on your brace, and then the brace will go. And that also depends on how much knee and quads control you have.
Yeah.
That will determine how quickly we can get you off your crutches and how quickly we can get you off your brace. If, say for example, the average is maybe 8 weeks for a very basic meniscus repair, we can get you off your crutches and brace, but you don't have good quads control, you're not going to come off your brace.
We have to obtain good gait pattern.
That's right.
Yeah, we're not taking you off crutches if you're limping around without them.
That's right.
And then very important, yes, you non-weight bearing for 6 weeks, but me personally, those 4 weeks are very important. I usually say I would like to achieve 0 degrees extension in that 4 weeks. We want to control pain and edema in those 4 weeks, and we want good quad contraction or good quad recruitment, VMO recruitment in those 4 weeks. That's what we're pushing for. Yes, everyone's different and it might be delayed, but that's our target, or at least mine. That's my target, to get to that in that 4 weeks. And then obviously I'd be happy with 90 degrees, locking out that brace at 4 weeks time as well.
And then obviously everything follows from that. Going back to work depends on the type of job you have. If you can work from home and you can sit at a desk and then sit in your bed, sit on the couch, you can work immediately. But if you need to drive, if you rely on driving to work, then you're not going to be going to work in that first 6 weeks, probably not in the next 8 weeks, because you need to be able to wait there to drive.
100%. And then also sometimes they might have good range of movement, but not good recruitment of quads. So for me, it's like you have the physical attributes to get in your car and drive, but I always talk about brake response.
That's right.
So it's more a safety thing for me with my patient, right? It's like if a car swerves in front of you or someone runs into the road, are you able to quickly react with that leg? So that, other than the attributes, that's what we look out for as well.
Definitely, being safe on the road.
100%, yeah. But the beginning stage, like you said, that's 6 weeks of non-weight bearing. Those are critical stages because it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the journey. If you do a good job in that phase, it prevents us going for a manip because scarring set in. Yes, Cyclops lesions depends on scarring and that individual, but definitely not molding that joint can lead to adhesions and then more surgery. So very critical phase of rehab for an ACL and meniscus is those early phases.
100%.
If not the most important.
Most important.
Phase.
And then obviously, like Wade said, return to sport happens much later. 9, you said sometimes 9, 12, 15 months.
Yeah.
Depending on
the type of sport. But remember, they're not doing anything.
No, 100%.
We have running is a part of rehabilitation. Lifting loads, weights, those are a part of rehabilitation. Cutting and running drills are part of rehabilitation. Slow exposure to the mechanism of injury, slow exposure to their sport is part of rehab.
So you only get to competition sage
or full training
around about that time frame.
That time.
But before that, you're still going to be you're going to be in the gym or you're going to be running or whatever it is. So obviously you're building up to competing, and obviously the competing is in stage.
Awesome. So Erica, we hope that was a lot, and we hope at least you have a better idea of what to expect post-surgery. All the best for surgery. We hope the recovery goes well. Sure, guys. So next time we'll see you on the Physio Exchange. Please get to the website, go to the podcast link, and drop us a question.